Do you like Harry Potter? Then why not head over to my other channel after watching this review and listen to my very own audiobook series, Mason McQueen and the Gargoyle's Curse, for free, written and read by yours truly. Or find it for sale at all the usual places. Link in the description below. Hello Homura again. Today I am reviewing a mock LEGO Harry Potter modular titled The Leaky Cauldron. This set was created by two LEGO MOC designers, Horcrux Foundry and Ministry of Making, and contains a whopping 7,109 pieces. Digital instructions are available to purchase through Rubricable.com, and if stages were actual pages, then this set would come with a 1,733 page instruction booklet. The first part of this build is the ground floor. Outside we get a pavement, but instead of the standard square paving we're used to, using dark grey tiles, we get a very decorative L-shaped pattern, mosaic instead, which even stretches out underneath the main structure and onto part of the back of the base plate. Starting from the left-hand side, the first building is the Leaky Cauldron. The outside of the inn is built almost entirely using black brick, and it's nice to finally have a use for the printed Leaky Cauldron tile that came in a past Harry Potter Advent Calendar set. A multitude of dark elements add a variety of textures to the exterior, while the stained glass windows help add a pop of colour and a slight enigmatic aesthetic. Angled hollow stud bars in pearl gold create simple arching spotlights, which gives the drinking establishment a touch of old-fashioned class, and the curved entrance, finished off with the one ring, screams intrigue and beckons you to want to grab the handle and enter. Inside you are met with flagstone flooring, giving the impression you have gone back in time, making the interior feel centuries apart from the exterior. This illusion is further highlighted by the main focal point in the room, which is the ironwork chandelier that is suspended between two wooden beams, and as an added bonus, the whole feature can ingeniously be removed to allow some finger-friendly access into the dining area. To the left through the serving hatch is a small compact tap room, complete with beer taps, and the top shelf features some somewhat fancy and probably very expensive alcoholic beverages. A wide brick-built fireplace gives a home to a rather large cauldron that probably leaks, helping to cement the inn's name, and a staircase curves around the back corner, which covers a convenient platform used to store extra barrels of butterbeer. Tucked away underneath the stairs is a back door, which leads out into a small cobbled courtyard. But the most important aspect of this enclosed area is it contains a play feature, a secret sliding passage that opens up into the infamous Diagon Alley. Moving next door, there is a record shop that sports some very entertaining signage and an interesting glass block exterior. Inside, a shelf of LPs are displayed on the right, and there is also a selection of records to flick through in a display stand. The instructions call for blank tiles to be used, but since I had an abundance of video tiles just lying around, it was too good of an opportunity not to use them. On the back wall, a framed golden disc and guitar take pride of place, and lastly there is a till point to complete your musical transactions. Wandering through the narrow alley lit by two lanterns, we come to a side door which is the entrance to a seamstress shop. The exterior boasts a beautifully dressed mannequin in the window, and inside, rolls of material are draped around a rail, while on the other side of the room, a clothes rail provides space to hang dresses and display a variety of gentlemen's hats. And if that wasn't all, there is also a small workstation with a sewing machine and a swivel chair for the seamstress to work. Continuing on past the side entrance and into the rear of the property, there is yet another compact courtyard. This small space may not have a secret entrance into the wizarding world, but it does contain some climbing greenery on the walls, and a set of stairs leading up to the next level. Moving up to the first floor, the first room we come to is a compact living area. This is accessible via a door and a small balcony that connects to the set of steps below. Inside is a practical kitchen with everyday amenities, and a couch offers a place for the occupant to sit while reading a book, which can be found in the handy bureau at the foot of the stairs. At the other end of this floor is a large open hallway. Reddish-brown tiles acting as wooden boards line the floor, while the fence piece and black tiles create a banister, leading to another set of stairs. The door on the back wall leads outside and onto a small balcony with support pillars, and there is even enough space to place minifigures so they can look out onto what will be the bustling shopping street below. Entering the second door leads us into the middle room, which is the parlor. This room depicts the scene from The Prisoner of Azkaban, where after blowing up his Aunt Marge, Harry flees to the Leaky Cauldron and is met by none other than the Ministry of Magic, Cornelius Fudge. Peace soup. There is a roaring fireplace, a chair with a writing desk, and even a screen-accurate grandfather clock. The front Muggle exterior of the build boasts two different detailed brickwork designs. The left-hand side of the build uses more standard building techniques with windows in sand blue, while the right uses a sideways wall constructing method and opts for a longer window in tan. Moving up to the second floor, the layout is almost identical to the one below. Starting with the room above the Leaky Cauldron, once again we are met with another open, spacious hallway, but this time there is even less floor space, with only a sliver of a walkway leading into the central room. Inside we have a cramped, tightly packed bedroom featuring a fireplace, a chest of drawers, but most noticeably of all, an ornate carved wooden four-poster bed. This room once again references a scene from The Prisoner of Azkaban, and all it needs is the Book of Monsters from the CMF series to make it complete. The last room on this floor is another bedroom that leads up from the previous kitchen and living area. Inside this blue-tiled room, there is a double bed with matching bedside tables, furnished with lamps. There is more storage in the form of a chest of drawers, a handy chair to sit, and framing the window is a pair of thick striped curtains. Outside around the back, we are treated to a long canopy, which will provide shelter to the viewing balcony that sits below, and the three exterior walls are pretty much copy and pasted from the first floor. The final part of the build is the roof. This mostly dark tan lid, despite being very plain from the back, provides some very eye-pleasing finishing features. Firstly, the side of the roof above the Leaky Cauldron has this almost imperial-like dome, accentuating the curvature of the rounded windows beneath it. The other side features two prominent chunky smokestacks, but the main piece of architecture that really catches the eye is this stone-carved clock and ornamental white roof trim. Now it's just a matter of connecting all the floors together and the modular is complete. Regular viewers to this channel will know, in order for me to undertake building a custom LEGO set, it really has to wow me from the get-go, and this modular certainly did that. Sourcing all the pieces to make a mock LEGO build of this magnitude is awfully tedious and very time consuming, not to mention extremely expensive, but when one of the designers involved is James from Ministry of Making, you know you're not going to be disappointed with the end result. I absolutely love the first three Diagon Alley MOCs from Ministry of Making, and in fact they are some of my favourite MOCs of all time. They currently sit pride of place in my LEGO room, and as soon as I was given the opportunity to expand my portfolio of wizarding real estate, I simply had to put all other projects on hold and commit to building this brand new building that even LEGO has never attempted. Once again, as a Harry Potter fan whose favourite sets are LEGO Modulars, this set was a dream come true for me. This set sets about trying to combine both the modern world with the world of wizardry, and I would say it certainly meets that brief. The first thing I must pay homage to is the fact a standard LEGO modular always struggles to look good from more than just one angle. 2 if it's a corner modular. But this building manages to defy the odds, and looks good from all 4 sides. There is no ugly and unsightly mishmash of coloured brickwork brought about by building interior details, and I especially like the choice of colour combinations, and the whole exterior just looks professionally polished. The building layout is exceedingly well thought out, and flows incredibly well, with each level lining up and sitting beautifully when connected. Personally, the one thing I absolutely love the most when building a tall modular is a build with unexpected floor framing. What I mean by floor framing, a term that I've just made up, is when separately you have a bunch of rooms that don't appear to be anything all that special, but when you connect them together, you realise their combined appearance has changed what was mundane into something far more aesthetic, and something totally unexpected. Peering down through the upper echelons of the Leaky Cauldron is certainly a sight to behold, and I am truly impressed with how you can follow the path of the helter-skelter staircase as it circles the ironwork chandelier, and still even glimpse the flagstone paving on the ground floor. Speaking of the ground floor, I am in awe of all that black brick, and the selection of different part usage for the exterior. This creates so many different textures that a multitude of different colours could never achieve, and the stained glass windows, which were a lot of fun to build, do a great job of separating all that black brick, so the eye can be drawn to a particular section and appreciate all the subtle details. Each room is wonderfully laid out, with some very creative mini-builds. The large bed is personally one of my favourite, along with a sewing machine and plush-looking green sofa. One small downfall with LEGO never having ever built a Leaky Cauldron before, the designers were not given the opportunity to reuse or repurpose any exclusive stickers or accessories. There are certain places where a few stickers would have finished off a room perfectly, like having a rogue's gallery of magical artwork hung on the hallway walls, and the tile above the fireplace in the parlour is just screaming out for a nice picturesque oil-based landscape. This set has also given me the perfect excuse to use up some of my printed tiles and accessories from the Harry Potter advent calendars, like placing the Sirius Black wanted poster by the bar. And without even knowing it, the two designers have left me the most perfect spot to place my platform 9 3/4 ticket tile. However, there are a few issues and critiques I had with the build. Firstly, the ironwork chandelier. This feature was the main thing I was most looking forward to build from glancing through the instructions, and I do love it. But it wasn't just the candles that had a bit of a meltdown. With all the hinged pieces, setting up this fiddly furnishing was very tricky. The tall candle elements, while they may fit, they don't however quite sit, and the 4 of them had the tendency just to pop out of their holes at the most inconvenient of times, and ended up getting either stuck under a table leg or better still, rolled behind the bar. The side walls are quite high and narrow for a modular, and as you can imagine, the dexterity required was a tad too much at times for my sausage fingers to bear. It did take a lot of time and patience to get the cantankerous chandelier just how I wanted it, and with only 2 points of connectivity, you also have to be very careful and precise with the amount of pressure you apply, as it is very easy for the chandelier and beams to break apart when moving them in and out of the main structure. Next is the sliding entrance to Diagon Alley. There is a slight weakness in the top left-hand corner of the tiled frame that guides the back and forth motion of the moving wall, so a bit of care and attention is needed when operating the feature. My final niggle is, well, just a personal preference really, and that is I wish the designers had installed an open bay cylindrical style window on the second floor. Doubtfully I would have come to this conclusion myself, but the designers did however include a source material photo at the beginning of the instructions, and after seeing it, I do feel like this little addition would have helped enhance the interior, but mainly added a much needed touch of rustic ramshackle charm to the exterior. This is after all the section of building that will be visible once the alley is completely constructed, and as it currently stands, I feel this section looks a little too professional and a bit too clean. It just needs something above the roof canopy to add a bit of a quirky twist to it, and I think at some point I may try and have a go and try and construct a simple renovation myself. Also, I may add a few jumper stud tiles to the roof, just so I can add the occasional owl. For my city builder viewers, I know they will want to know one thing: is this modular compatible with a LEGO city? The short answer is yes, but it all depends on what modular you wish to place either side of it. With some minor adjustments, swapping out snot bricks and slopes with normal bricks and tiles, you can make it work, but with no adjustments at all, modulars like the Tudor corner can slot in nicely on the right hand side, and personally, I really like this little setup, as it's very in keeping with the London look. As always with a MOC modular of this calibre, it is very part heavy, and you guessed it, also very expensive. There are no economic constraints imposed on this building, and from the level of detail included, it clearly shows. From top to bottom, this building was a lot of fun to build, and unless you build this MOC for yourself, you can't really appreciate just how thorough and well executed the planning of this building actually is. Obstructed by walls, there are extra considered details, like a well-stocked bar area with a hinged bar top, and hidden from sight under the stairs, there's even a wooden barrel to store cleaning supplies, located by the Leaky Cauldron's back door. From admiring the end result, you can easily tell that both designers, Ministry of Making and Horcrux Foundry, are huge Harry Potter fans, and must have had a lot of fun designing this exceptional modular, letting their imaginations and creativity run rampant. Personally, I hope this pairing continues to work together on the project to build the entire spellbinding shopping street. And speaking of future instalments, I have some very exciting news to share. James from Ministry of Making is almost ready to release the instructions for his upgraded version of the Weasley's Joke Shop, Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, which will bridge the gap between the ice cream shop and the Leaky Cauldron. And if that wasn't enough, Tyler from Horcrux Foundry is wasting no time at all and beginning work on his version of the Dark Magic Shop, Borgin and Burke's. So as soon as the instructions are available, I will certainly be building and reviewing these future MOCs. So make sure to like, comment and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. Anyway, that's it for the review. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to check out my free audiobook series, Mason McQueen and the Gargoyle's Curse. Now it's time for the magical money shots.